What's up, everybody? It's Damon Dickson. You're watching Musician Reveal with my brother, Joe Kelley.
Okay, here on Musicians Reveal, I'm really excited today because a longtime friend of our show, we're going on, I think, 25 years. We first
Yes,
had
sir.
our next guest on. He is a longtime choreographer, dancer, percussionist with Prince and the New Power Generation. Also, I'm joking with him here. I don't know. Maybe he's got this in mind. Going to open up a restaurant one day because he's been cooking his butt off and showing everybody. Yeah. And also a fashion designer, day wear, and now esteemed author with his wife, Paisha,
Ah,
co-writing the book with him, The Damon Dickson Story. We'll
yeah.
talk all about this and more. Welcome, Damon Dickson. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, and I know you alluded that you were working on a book, I think, last time we spoke,
Yeah.
and you got it done, and people are
Yeah.
really happy. Yeah.
And that's through the grace of my wife, who has really been instrumental in putting it together. I mean, she says it's your story. I'm just helping piece it.
Right.
So she always wants to make sure that everybody understands that it's my book. I wrote it, but I just told her, you need to be, you help with all this. So basically, you're the producer,
Right,
so to
right.
speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's been a long time coming. I started out with that thought of writing this book some years ago, man. I'm gonna say almost 25, 30 years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So the idea and the thought has been there. It's just changed from what it was when I first started
Hmm.
to now. When I first started writing the book, and I still have all the paperwork, all the stuff from the first one.
Right.
Um, and I literally did not even look at that when I wrote this one.
Oh, okay. Started
You
fresh.
know, yeah, fresh. And it was just back then, it was more talking about my life, but I didn't get in depth in some of the other personal things that were happening in my life as a kid and going into, the whole entertainment thing and that stuff. And, there was some stuff about, Prince in there, but nothing really too harsh. It was more or less thanking him and talking
Yeah.
about how great of a person he was to give me an opportunity.
Right.
Well, long story short, had a conversation with him and some other stuff happened. And then he was like, well, I don't want you to do it. And I was like, all right, whatever, dude. And we just kind of had this laughing thing. And he's like, well, we family, so you shouldn't have to write a book about your life. And I'm like, it's for my kids,
Yeah. Right.
not
Right.
for you,
Right. Yeah.
and we laughed about it, but then it went on. And so fast forward a few years and was in conversation with my wife and a couple other people, and Kirk was actually instrumental in pushing me too. He's like, "Man, just go ahead and write the book," and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, and so the book is basically, just a memoir of some stuff that happened in my life, and
Yeah.
something that people can read. A short read. It's not long.
Hmm.
I'm intentionally made it short to have people be able to, read it in a day or two. You know,
That means there's going to be a series, an upcut. You're probably working on the next book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I told my wife, I said the B side's coming to that.
Yeah.
It'll
That's
be
right. The B
B
side.
side of everything you hear in there, but a
Right.
little more in depth stuff. So,
Yeah. Oh, I'm
so
remiss. I should congratulate you and Paisha, your wife, on newlywed. So
yes, sir, yes,
congratulations. Yeah.
sir. Yeah, we eloped in December. So
Right. Hey, nice pictures too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was great, man. I mean, we just got the pictures back from the photographer that filmed everything on the beach, and we just kind of going through and trying to pick out some that we want to have in the house and stuff. So.
So Paisha, she was a Prince fan, I'm sure, right? At first?
She really wasn't. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. I
Okay.
met her at a book signing.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I didn't go to it. It was her book, and
Hmm.
she had put together a little book about how Prince touched people all over the world.
Right.
Uh, wasn't nothing really big. It was a paperback, small book, where she talked to a lot of the fans and what have you. Now, she was having the book signing. A friend of hers who I knew asked me to come to it, and I said, nah. I said, all right, I'll come over, whatever. Got off work when it changed. Go over to Chanhassen, well, it was at Eden Prairie Chanhassen, that area where Houlihan's was, and I pulled up in the lot, told her I was there, and the young lady that invited me came out. We talked, and she's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, why don't you come on in?" I was like, "No, I don't want to interrupt what she's doing. That's her book signing. I don't want
Right.
to. I don't know her, so I don't want to make everybody stop what they're doing because they see me."
Right.
And she's like, "Well, okay, I'm gonna have her come out and introduce her," and she does. So she
Wow.
comes out. I'm speaking to this other lady that was from Canada, taking pictures with all these people, and then she took a picture with me.
Wow.
I leave,
Mm-hmm.
and a few days later, I get a message in my inbox to say, "Hey," she's like, "Hi, I'm Paisha. I met you at the book signing," and I said, "Oh yeah, 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 your book signing." And she goes, "Yeah." She said, "I wanted to tell you something, but I don't want to make it sound like I'm a fan or anything." She said, "But you came to a thing, and I have no clue who you were."
Wow. She's not
And so
related
I
to other
had to
people we know?
Google you. He's like, "I Googled you after you left." And I went, "What?" And it was funny, but it was refreshing for me because she didn't know who I was and she wasn't fan,
Right,
doing
right,
the fan thing. So
right.
that was refreshing. And so that in itself made our friendship pretty cool.
And that's a great story too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So being on the world stage, of course, probably a lot of people listening and viewing this know you inside and out as far as performer and everything, and now with the book. But what's it like when some really rabid fans meet you in person or online? You hear good and bad. How do you deal with stuff like that?
Um, you know, I've ran into different walks of the fans. I've run into the ones that be, "Oh my God," and they're shaking when they meet you.
Right.
And I just calm them down. I'm like, "Hey, I'm normal. You can come up and speak to me. You know, I'm not going to stand behind some barricade and you can't speak to me." And then I've ran into some that be in their attitude, especially after P died,
Right.
about stuff. And it's funny, I don't really try to get too much into it, but I always tell people, if you're gonna get personal toward me about something you don't know, then you might get a different side of me. But I try to keep all that, at a minimum now. As I got older, I realizing that people are going to be people. You can't change anyone. And I've always put this on anything that I post is you can't change what somebody says or does or how they act towards you. You can change how you
Yeah.
deal with it.
We're, we're,
You
we're
know,
kind of set in our ways, most of us. Yeah. I
well,
think.
and as you get older, I mean, for me, as I gotten older, I've come to a lot of different things. My mother is
Mm.
constantly in my ear.
Right. Right.
You want to treat people how you like to be treated. No
Eh,
matter what's going on in your life, people don't see everything that goes on with you, and so therefore you have to take it with a grain of salt or deal with it in the way you know how to deal with it. And for me, it's like, if you push me too hard and you continue, then you might get a different side of me. I got a little friend called Damien that sits on one of my shoulders. And, I try to keep him intact.
Right. So you must have watched the movie Animal House back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
definitely
They
watched
had that.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. With Jim Belushi.
Yeah. Right. Right. John Belushi. And yeah, that's a classic scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Um,
fans are gonna be fans, man.
yeah.
I mean, I'm open to everybody, and I've always seen it. A lot of fans have showed me a lot of love over the years, and they also see the ones that act crazy, and they just trying to let you know it's like, "Hey, that person's this or that." So,
Right.
you just have to deal with it the way you know how to deal with it. And unfortunately, we're in that light, so you're gonna get different things thrown your way. So.
How about the rare times that Prince did record store signings? I met Prince at New York Tower Records, and you weren't in that band at the time, but you did some record store signings with him,
Yeah,
right?
we did
Yeah,
we did a couple. I know we did one in Japan and we did one at another record store, and it
Atlanta.
was really cool. Yeah, in Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah.
And
MTV was covering it.
you
Yeah,
know, it was real nice because normally, we would kept hearing that he don't sign autograph, he won't do this and that, but he was doing it with us, so
right.
we felt privileged that he even, included us and stuff. I think one of the ones he did in Japan, he went by himself, and it was too funny because we heard about it. And they was saying, "Hey, well, it must have fit in, and y'all all was about the same height."
Oh God. Yeah. I guess you guys could, yeah, you guys constantly had the dozens going on, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Listen, man, we were definitely back in the hood,
right.
talk back and your mama jokes, all kind of stuff. I mean, if you there's a video I put out where I'm wearing a wig and a chiffon skirt, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
came out for Funk Night, and he pulled some dozen stuff on that show. When he saw me,
right.
he's laughing and laughing, and he goes, "Well, that's Kirk's mama, y'all. We try to keep him in the back," and and everybody's like dying laughing in the band because we know, your mama jokes were running rapid in the band. So,
Right. Who was the sharpest with the comebacks in the band?
oh my God, P had some sharp ones, man.
Right.
But we all kind of had our days, like certain days, somebody else would be whatever. But hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, I got a tongue.
And you
you
weren't
know.
holding it back.
Oh no, 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 no. Not if you want to have a mama fight.
Right. Yeah, it's I mean, but those are great times, and you talk about a little bit in the book and
Yeah,
but I wanted to get back to the Damon Dickson story, a lady you mentioned who's like a co-star in your book, your mother, the
yeah,
just
yeah,
how influential she was. And
yeah.
a line in there, I'm going to paraphrase, but wasn't your mom the one who said something like, if you want something to happen good, just step aside and don't control it and good things will happen, something like that?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you gotta, at some point you have to allow life to do its thing.
Right.
And it's like she would never my mother was very common sense. Um, you know, she was a smart woman, but she was very common sense about things in life. And it's like, you can't control. That's why I get a lot of the you can't control how somebody else got to be. You have to learn how to control how you deal with it and that
Right.
stuff. And everything that ever happened that was negative
Hmm.
was something that she always said, he said, yeah, you don't understand it now, but you'll learn,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
them kind of stories that I'm sure every mother
Right.
can relate to telling their child. It's like, hey, like you don't understand why I'm trying to tell you this now, but it's going to come to you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, those lessons are constantly, they're on the other shoulder, I'm sure, right?
Exactly. They're on that angel side that's
Yeah.
telling
The
you like,
angel
hey,
side. Yeah.
don't do that, don't do this, and that's what we get when we even deal with our kids. It's like, my kids are all grown now and they have kids. So I watch what they do with their kids and go, and I just sit and smile and go,
Right.
okay. And they like what? I'm like, yeah, you sound a lot like my youngest daughter sounds a
Uh-huh.
lot like my mother, and the way she deals with her kids. Now, not saying that this is a great thing to, discipline your kid by spanking and that stuff, but when I grew up, that's how even in Texas, your neighbor would spank your butt and send you home, and might get one when you got home.
Yeah.
Nowadays you can't put your hands on kids, so you have to think of other ways to discipline. And I hear my mother and my daughter, and I go,
Okay.
"Geez, girl, you sound just like your grandmother." And she never met her, and I'm
Right.
like, "You never met your grandmother, but you sound just like her." And my other two are the same way. They have ways that relate to my family, and I just go, "Boy, you guys just don't get it. You have a lot of what you grew up in."
Right.
And it's just one of them things. It's like we have to figure out ways to make your kid be what you want to be, but yet instill that confidence and make them want to go after things in life. So,
Right.
and that's what my mother was doing. It's like every little incident
Hmm.
meant was a learning lesson,
Right.
no matter how drastic or how different it was from everybody else. It's just, certain things that happened were
Hmm.
very, very serious, but it was a lesson to be learned in it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. I think people are going to really enjoy I mean, you're right up front and you have quite a journey from childhood.
yeah,
We
yeah,
we almost you almost are not here in this conversation the way
yeah,
you were
yeah.
born and everything and the family, the dynamics and everything and basically you having to be the man, the household male part for when you were in your teens, right?
Yeah, yeah. Early on in my even preteen, I was already, my mother was always say to me growing up, she's like, when you're helping cleaning and doing different things around housekeeping your room clean, she's like, I want you to be able to have this as a young man so you don't have to depend on a woman. Now, I'm not saying that you get a woman and you do all the work for it,
Hmm.
but she wanted to make sure that I had all the tools I need to live on my own and be able to watch, clean,
Right.
cook, all these things without having to depend on a woman to do it for you. So
Right.
she would always say, relationships, people used to say are 50-50, but they're actually 100% both person.
Mm.
So if you
Yeah.
put 200% into it, the household will work better. You know what I
Right.
mean? And growing up, I mean, I could remember being young, getting down on the floor. We used to have them shag carpet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we didn't have a vacuum cleaner because, back then vacuum cleaners was rare.
Yeah, yeah.
And you get that broom and try to sweep up a crumb out of it.
Right, right. You didn't have the
So,
plastic on the couch, did you?
right, we
Yeah.
we we learned early to
Right.
clean, and my mother was instrumental in everything that I do when it comes to like cleaning the house or washing dishes or cooking.
Hmm.
Uh, when I'm sitting and cooking, I'm visualing my mom every time I'm doing something, and
Right.
my wife, who in the kitchen sometimes, and I'll tell her to come in and sit with me while I'm doing it, and she makes fun of me because I season the way I season food because I'm making sure every layer is. And she's like, "You're over the food," and you're like, "Uh huh,
Uh,
uh huh."
you know what's really funny about that is like the times that I really think about my mom and missing her is when I'm in the kitchen cooking. I mean, it's not like, and my brothers and I are saying my mother wasn't the best cook, but that's the
Right,
time
right.
cooking for some reason. She comes to mind most.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really that's really odd.
My sisters, ironically, when they were young, they didn't get, my mom didn't have them in the kitchen like she had me.
Oh,
And as
okay,
they got older, that's when they got better, when they had kids
okay,
and they had to feed them. So now it comes into play. Now, my youngest sister, um, she can cook her butt off.
right,
The oldest girl can cook. Now, my middle sister is more of a baker. she don't
okay,
she don't really get into cooking like that. She can cook because she's been single all her life, but I think the other two cook more than her because they
hmm,
had kids. So the learning thing came a little more. For me, it was just, I was always in the kitchen. If my mom was making meatloaf, Daddy, I need you to come in here and get your hands in it, okay? All
right,
right. And they're learning. So I started learning more and
yeah,
more, and I remember sometime right before, well, a few years before she had passed, she said, "You need to sit down and write these recipes down." And I was like, "Oh, I don't need to do that." I'm like, eh. And I didn't pay it no attention when she said it. It was
right,
just kind of blowing it off. Now I'm sitting here going, boy, I should have sat down and listened to it because everything back then was a pinch of this, a pinch of that. It wasn't a spoon or
yeah,
a half a spoon. It wasn't that. It was a little dash here, a little
right,
dash there. It's like, how do you write that down?
yeah. You go on feel, right?
Right, you go on
Yeah,
field. So,
right. Yeah, the best place, the Damon Dickson Story, right there. We'll have the links in our description. The book is out, has been out for a few weeks, and best to go to Amazon or I like it, Barnes and Noble too. You say?
yeah, and for people over in Europe, if they're watching this in different countries, the Netherlands and other areas that we have fans over there, if you go to authorhouse.com,
Okay,
and that's authorhouse.com. You
okay.
can order it through them and they'll get it to you. But I think everybody can get it on Amazon now. When we first put it out, some of the people over there were trying to get it and they couldn't. And I think it's because Amazon's link wasn't quite up and ready for everybody yet. So,
Yeah, I'm really hoping you get on a little book tour here in the States, Minnesota.
hey,
Go out there.
I would love to if there was somebody that knows anything about it and can connect it to different bookstores where it
Right.
could be done. I'd be more than happy to come out and do them. I swear I would.
Yeah, Barnes and Noble or like Minneapolis Electric Fetus. People would love to see it there.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
By all
um,
means.
yeah, definitely. I was gonna. I forgot to mention. I forget to send you the message, but on one of the videos, the clips from our previous interviews, um, you were talking about the Purple Rain dancing, and one of the original female lockers from Soul Train made a comment in the thing, and she was in 72 on Soul Train doing the locking, and then she danced from 73 to 76. I think she
Oh,
goes by
okay.
Freddie Maxey, but she said, I always wondered all these years who are the guys doing the dancing during Purple Rain, and I'm
Oh
amazed they
wow.
did great routines, and she said incredible locking and great job.
Oh
So
wow. Wow.
yeah, I know you mentioned the influence on them on your own was, but
Yeah, well, growing up, who didn't watch Soul Train?
right, right,
I mean,
yeah,
I was glued to the TV when Soul Train came on,
right,
man. You had the American Bandstand, you had the Soul Trains, and there's people in Detroit that had their own shows that had that dance on it.
yeah, you're
I
right.
can't remember none of the names of
The
them, but I
dance
was just
show, I
going,
think there was one in Atlanta too. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
right.
So, anytime something came on TV dance wise, man, I'm glued up. Soul Train, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Well, I'm like, Don Cornelius, the Soul Train dancers,
Yeah.
killed, man. Come on. Come on, man.
Did you have a favorite dancer on the show
You
through
know
the
what? I
years?
didn't really have a favorite. I just loved the fact that everybody did something different, that variety of dance that was out there. But, back then you're watching and you're watching people in different areas doing their thing and on the TV. You're like,
Right,
who was that?
right.
But it was just, for me, it was just loving watching the dance part of it. It's just it's to have the artists on there, that's great and that's that. But when they panned the audience is when I was like this, like,
Yeah,
ooh, see that move. I'm gonna
right.
try that.
Yeah,
I remember when they had the lockers on there
right.
right away, dude. Oh my God.
Did you ever meet Fred Berry rerun?
No, I never
No.
met him.
Okay.
What's funny is when we were dancing growing up in North Minneapolis, we used to go to the little disc. There was a place at North Commons Community Park. They used to have a disco on Friday and Saturday night, and we used to go up there with two of my friends and stuff. And we would, lock and do all the other stuff. And there was the guy, one of the guys I was with, he was from Chicago, or two of them, and they had their own dance style. But there was a heavy set little guy that was with us, and we used to call his name was Lamar Hughes.
Okay.
But he was our rerun.
Okay.
So when we were watching stuff, he watched, rerun on TV,
Yeah.
and he'd come back and do them moves. And we'd be like, oh, okay. So we're kind of incorporating that. But it was just so funny how Soul Train played a lot in a lot of our dance stuff that we did back then. So I didn't have a
Yeah.
favorite. I
Right.
just loved watching
Yeah.
dance.
Yeah. I still watch the YouTube. I just wish they were in better quality. That somehow people had better quality of the video. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it's
I actually had a chance to talk to Shabadoo before
oh,
he
okay.
passed.
Before he passed, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we connected on Facebook. There was a young lady that connected us because I said, I really dug his dance stuff, especially when he was in the movie, Breaking and all that stuff. I she sent him a message saying that I, thought of him and stuff, and then he messaged me, inboxed me, and we talked for just a few minutes, and it was like,
Wow.
"Oh, you're the one of the dudes that danced in Prince's band," and I was
Right.
like, "Yeah." And I said, "Man, I used to watch y'all's movie, you and Boogaloo Shrimp and blah blah blah," and he was like, "Yeah, those were the good old days," and he
Yeah.
was still out doing dance stuff places, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool, man."
Yeah.
And then when I heard he passed, I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" I just connected with that dude, so.
Yeah, because he
It was
passed. He
kind
must
of
have been in his
one of the
50s or
bittersweet moments to let
yeah.
him know that I thought he was cool.
Yeah, well that's great you have, you were able to bond like that for a short time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Of all the TV appearances, I mean numerous with Prince and New Power Generation, do you have a favorite dance wise that you guys put in all the work and it was difficult? What was your favorite comes to
Oh
mind?
man. We all the work we put in, I think you could say all of our dance stuff was real creative because he always wanted us to, touch with, just come up with things that were different from anybody else. But if I'm gonna pick something that we like that, now I like the Rod Divine. I don't know if you remember the Rod
Yeah, oh
Divine
yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Uh, we did a section. Uh, I think. Like what's the name of the song? Sacrifice.
Okay, yeah.
And we were doing the step on these chairs, and
Oh
we had to
yeah, yeah.
incorporate some chairs.
Yeah.
For me, it was like that was top tier because we was now starting to do some things like we saw, the Nicholas brothers do, or
And my
Gregory
favorite,
Hines,
yeah.
and we're doing this stuff on these stairs and coming back. All of those. Now, if I pick a routine that actually had us pump, it was
Mhm.
Daddy Pops.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, the energy level on Daddy Pop, especially on Arsenio Hall,
Mm.
was amazing, was just crazy.
For the Ride Divine, those songs, how many takes were done on some of those songs, or was it just one take for?
A lot of time it was just one take because we had already been rehearsal. These were songs we toured doing,
Right, right.
and so you know, if you messed up, you just keep going. You
Yeah,
you hope that didn't get filmed.
right, right. And you were Rock in Rio. Prince pulled that, right? From being
Yeah,
brought. What was the
yeah.
reason that you recall?
For Rock in Rio,
Yeah, that wasn't he. I think he wasn't happy with something.
I'm not sure. I didn't hear that he wasn't happy. I know that that was a big show. I mean, it was close to 180 something thousand people in that Joker.
Yeah,
It was huge. The stage was huge. I mean, the freaking stage looked like it might have been a block long. Like with these big screens on there. I was like, this is crazy, man. That was one of the biggest stages I think I've ever seen. So it was, but I mean, I don't recall him not being happy about it. I think he was, you know, um, just excited to do that show because there was a lot of big names over there doing it at that time.
yeah, right.
That was my first chance, first time meeting Bootsy Collins.
Wow. Yeah.
Um, Gotten the chance to see New Kids on the Block when they came. They was just, they were going nuts over there when they saw him.
Hmm.
But then as soon as Prince walked out, it was like, oh, okay,
All right.
But I don't recall him having any issues with that. I mean, we pulled that show off, and it was absolutely amazing as big as it was, and that was like, a raw show.
Right.
We had, as far as the wardrobe stuff, he had us in like two-piece suits and stuff. And I'm going, dude, we're going to sweat this stuff out.
Yeah. Right. And then in Japan, you had the cool designs on everything like that. The characters, Japanese
Yeah,
characters.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we were coming along at that point, and he was starting to piece together things.
Right.
Prince was like the head chef in the kitchen,
Right.
and we were
Right.
just them people prepping all the food for him, getting it ready.
How disappointed do you think he was that he couldn't pull off the splits and the dance moves because of limitations down the line with his physical stuff? Do you think it really got to his core or
No,
no?
no, it's funny. A lot of times I kept wondering when he had time to watch us dance because when they were working on the music, we'd be in another room.
No,
Um,
I was meaning like later in his career when he wasn't doing the six splits at
uh,
one time. Do you think it really hurt him?
I think a lot of, I mean, you got to think how many times you see him do a split
Yeah.
in sessions like in a row, and you're going, you're hip,
Yeah.
you're not, and he was doing that, you know, later on in his career when he's with us. I mean, it's like, dude, you're not young, but I mean, that brother was hitting them splits, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, I'm 6'3.5".
Yeah.
Me and Tony both were 6'3.5". Kirk's 6 foot.
Right.
And it's a long way down
Yeah,
for
that's
us.
right. Yeah.
So to see him and hit it like he was hitting it, going, man, my God, this dude hit the split and it's smooth coming up. And I'm like,
Right.
dude, I can't, I can't hang. I cannot hang. You know what I mean? So, and I know I have surgery on my knee
Mhm.
for when we did the Special Olympics.
Oh
And I
yeah.
had surgery on my knee and we did the splits there and did that little bouncing back up thing.
Yeah, with the
And
stutter
I'm
step.
telling
Yeah.
you,
Right.
if I know I was feeling pain like that, I can tell you down the road when he started really feeling it with his hip and that stuff, I'm sure it was excruciating pain.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
I mean, that's got to be hard on anybody.
right.
So I mean, hopefully that wasn't really what's got him to where he needed medicine stuff. But that's just it's just one of them things. It's a perk that comes with dancing, not a perk,
Yeah.
but you got to figure dancers always. I just saw a young lady that was I forget her name. She's a ballet dancer that he worked with,
Misty
and when she
Copeland.
had surgery
Misty
on her
Copeland.
hip, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw the video she put out about having surgery, and I was
Oh, okay.
yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine,
Right. Yeah.
So
Well,
dancing
being yeah.
is a tough thing, man. It's like a sport. You train your body to get used to it.
Yeah, my wife
And
used
Prince
to
had
be.
been doing
Oh,
that for
yeah.
years. Your wife dance?
She was a competitive ballroom dancer. She traveled all over the
Ah,
world. Her and her ex, and she's got injuries from that. And she's like, I mean, she had a school too, teaching people. So yeah,
ah,
she's banged
ah.
up, from all
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah. That dance thing, it's just like any sport, man. You got to train your body, and muscles in areas you wouldn't even believe.
right.
Um, so I mean, if you're not taking it serious, you're gonna mess around and hurt yourself, you
Well,
know?
as a fan, and I'm sure a lot of people who are checking out the show today, or whenever they watch it, really thankful that the Diamonds and Pearls, the Glam Slam show came out.
Oh
That's
yeah.
that was like the first public outing for the band on that tour, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And that was raw because we had just finished rehearsal,
Hmm.
and we get this phone call to go down to Glam Slam, and it's like, well, what are we doing? It's like, oh, you guys doing a dress rehearsal? We're like, for real? Like, okay.
Right.
And everything on that video is absolutely the beginning of us. We were just getting used to all the song, what the choreography was going to look like, what it was going to look like on stage, and I think that's what he wanted to see.
Right.
So when he called that to go down there to do that, it was like, okay, he's gonna film this.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? He wants to go back and look at it and see what needs to be tweaked and what doesn't need to be tweaked and what have you. And we just went raw that night. A lot of the dance stuff that's on that video
Hmm.
changed when we got on the road because
Okay.
we started getting more and more comfortable with other things. So
Well, he liked vibing with you. There's I forget which song, but he's you and him have a good rapport on
yeah,
one of the
yeah,
songs. Yeah. So
yeah. I think it was the part where he was saying he had to leave and they
oh
got
yeah,
to get
yeah.
out of there.
Right, right. Yeah.
And then he's like, man, y'all keep playing. And then he looked back at me
Yep, yep.
and, it was like, yeah. So we had that rapport. I can remember doing a dance step. I think Kirk was on percussion.
Okay.
Tony at Wynn was playing guitar on something, and I was standing behind him dancing. And I changed the dance step after we had been doing it for like, about a week. And, in a week we did like 4 or 5 shows or whatever it was. And I was like, I was tired of doing this certain move.
Uh-huh.
And I changed it
Right.
on my own since I was the only one dancing.
Right.
Didn't pay it no mind. He turned around one time and did the song and he sung this line twice. And we all like, okay, are we off? So, everybody, the band's like, are we off? Why did he sing that twice? After the show, he called me to his dressing room and he
Uh-huh.
goes, I want to talk to you. I was like, okay. And I thought I did something wrong. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? He's like, puts in the VHS, goes to the section he wants, and he goes, what did you do here? I was like, oh, yeah,
Uh,
I changed the move. I was like, I normally do this. And he said, yeah. He said, did you notice I sung that line twice? I said, yeah, I noticed you did that. I'm like, what's up with that? He said, it's because you changed the move. I usually turn around, and that tells me when the next, what I was supposed to sing next. And I went,
right.
wait, what?
Yeah.
and he's like looking at me, and he goes, turns around and talks to one of the bodyguards. Make sure Damon's docked for that. And
Oh.
I'm like, bruh.
He can jump on a bar and do things
I'm like,
out of order, but you can't though.
I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I didn't know you was watching me to be able to keep up with your like. Hey, look, so you're blaming me for you singing it twice?
Right,
Gotcha.
right. Okay.
I won't change the move again.
How about after that show when he was dancing on top of the bar real crazy? Did he come back to the dressing room? You guys ask him about it or did he say anything or
Well, it was funny because we didn't know he was going to do that.
right.
We had no clue he was going to leave the stage and go do that. Like again, it was a dress rehearsal.
Right, right.
So everything that happened on there happened that night. It was unaware. Nobody knew. I don't even think the bodyguards and all knew that he was gonna leave the stage and go do that.
Yeah. Puts
So
puts the stress on them, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And you don't. And when he does stuff, you don't go ask him why he do it.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
Like, hey man, why you leave the stage like that?
Yeah.
He'd be like,
Yeah.
and
You
who
want to
cares?
check?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So you still stay in contact with a few of the band members, right?
Actually, the only one that I'm really in contact with and I talk to quite frequently is Kurt.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Um, you know, some time ago, and I won't harp on any of it, but
Right.
the band made a decision to set me out, and then I decided to like, you know what, I'm gonna let them have that because it's obviously a reason y'all didn't want me there, and we just went on about our business. So I never, and I think my attitude about it was, I had a friend that I believe was supposed to be my brother, didn't speak up for me a little bit. And I just felt like, you sided with people that set me out. And I just kind of had this, bitter taste in my mouth. But since then, I've, moved past it. I can't change. I had to listen to my mother.
Right.
I can't
Yeah.
change how
Yeah. Right.
I can't change what somebody else says or thinks,
Hmm.
or their behavior. I can only change how I look at it. You
Right.
know, I grew up with this brother. We'll always have that bond, but at the
Hmm.
same time, I have to step away from you in order to see what it is that was going on around me. So uh, that's part of the reason the book is written in that sense is like there was
Right.
a lot of life lessons learned.
Right. And I mean, you're tasteful throughout the whole book. I'm sure you could put everybody on blast that
Yeah.
for certain
Yeah,
things.
well,
But yeah.
it really isn't about that. And that's, like I
Yeah.
said, as we get older,
Hmm.
you have to think about things that you do. I talked to a young man who, well, actually, I'm going to say he's in his 50s, but he contacted me quite a bit and we talked. And I always try to tell this young man, say, hey, man, he talks about some things that went on in his life and his relationship with his parents or his mother and what have you. And I said, hey, man, listen, at some point you have to let that go. At
Mm.
some point you have to, if you want to mend it just for you, not for them, you
Right.
have to address it to them and then move forward. Say it and go on about your business. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was he always goes, yeah, but it's just so hard. And I go, no, it's nothing hard about it. I had to have a conversation with my father
Mm. Yeah. I remember you.
right
Yeah.
before he passed.
Right.
And that was hard because what I seen him growing up and how he was toward my mother, it
Hmm.
was hard for me to understand why a man would be that way, and growing up, all I knew is this man was mean and abusive.
Right. Right. And
And,
you detail it in the
so
book. Yeah.
when you get to a certain age and have that conversation, I let him know
Right.
I didn't like it.
Hmm.
There's things I wanted to do to you because of what you were doing to my mother. And and
Right.
I and I was told from a person that was like a therapist, and they were like, you seeing that all your life might, make you have them thoughts. And I said, no, no, I was the exact opposite. I said, I don't need no therapist to tell me that I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
and
Right.
they were like, well, sometimes it happens with people. And I was like, you know what? Not for me.
Mm.
I'm my own therapist. I can leave stuff alone. And I thank my mother for that. I'm my own therapist. I know right from wrong.
I think the
And I
last time
know
we,
it's
no, go
common
ahead.
sense.
Yeah, the last time we spoke, you were just about to do like a talk with students in school about life and keeping a positive thing. You want to do more of that?
Yeah, yeah. I would love to be able to, like do forums or go speak with kids that may have had the same kind of upbringing I had, dealing with parents and different things that happen.
Right.
And just, just kind of enlighten them that, you may be going through these things now, but when you get a little older, you're going to look back and go, wow, it, it, is it really worth really being all that all your life? Or
Yeah.
do you make the change to turn? Because I've had so many things through my way
Hmm.
uh, throughout my life that probably would have broke a lot of people,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's,
And as you read in the book, I mean,
yeah.
I've had, I mean,
You,
I
you've
I
been to
thought I was going to
the,
play in the NBA.
yeah. I was going to get to that, you had a chance down the line. You could have been in the championship game against Larry Bird for Michigan State, right?
I I could have,
Yeah. You and
I could
Magic
have.
going out in practice. It could have happened.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and then life just changed. I had a friend of mine's, actually the young man I was telling you about, Lamar Hughes,
Okay.
just messaged me yesterday to say he read the book. Now,
Hmm.
mind you, he used to come to my house, talk with my mother,
Right.
been around me through high school, and he said, "Man, I had no clue all that happened to you."
Wow.
And I'm like, he said, "Because you never talked about it and you never showed anything."
Hmm.
And I was like, "Well, my mother was like, you know, the biggest inspiration for me to keep moving." And so I didn't
Right.
think about it. It's like, and for him to say that, it really, it touched me because I was like, wow, I didn't know I was carrying it like that
Right.
well back then.
He's still out in the Twin Cities?
He's actually in Chicago.
Oh,
He's
okay.
in
Yeah.
Chicago. That's where he was from. He moved back to Chicago and stuff, and we had lost touch like for years. And then he found me on Facebook, but we
Hmm.
still weren't in contact. But he bought my book, and he sent me a message to tell me he bought my book.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
I was like,
we
wow.
definitely encourage a lot of people. Everybody who's watching, if you haven't already, this is you have to pick up our guest, longtime friend Damon Dickson Story with his wife Paisha Dixon, helping you. She's the producer. You got to have a good
Yeah.
producer, right?
Yeah, you got to have a good producer.
Yeah,
Got to have them people that know how to put it together for you if you don't know how to put it together. And
yeah,
all I can do is tell the stories and write it down. I can't, the format and all that. Yeah, I leave that up to the people that can work it out.
yeah. My wife does. I mean, she was a radio promoter, so she's been in the business. But she,
Oh,
with the radio show, I called her producer too because she said, "Did you contact this? Did you follow up on this? Did you do this?" Because my mind is like, I'm out there. We're doing this
yeah.
interview. I had it in my phone. It was a half hour before. I'm sitting in the studio and just like I checked back and said, "Oh, I screwed that up. I was a little early there." So
Well, I know, because that's why I messaged you. I was like, hey, so we on
yeah,
in 28 minutes,
right,
right?
yeah, yeah. I just and there I go again. I messed it up, because the focus just went out. So, but yeah,
Well, I kind of figured. I said, well, I didn't know, if you're on the East Coast. I'm like, well, maybe he's an hour ahead of me and it's his time. Maybe he meant his time. I don't know. Let me
right,
check.
yeah, yeah. I was surprised Kentucky's it's Eastern, right?
Yeah,
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 yeah. So we're an hour ahead of Minnesota,
right,
hour behind some of the people in the East Coast,
right.
and 3 hours from the LA people.
Yeah, yeah. And
So it's it's
you're out in the horse country. I live up in Saratoga Springs area, so that's horse
ah
country. We're both in the big spots for horse racing. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, one of the things that Prince, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, he didn't let a lot of people in his friendship circle to share what was going on and stuff like that. But after you were an employee with him, he really leaned into you and wanted you to be around him for a little bit, right?
Yeah, it was really, one of them tough times. I was, had went through my first divorce, and the, everything took from me.
Hmm.
And when I say everything, I mean everything.
Right.
Um, and I was a lady that had a daycare. I started talking to her and wound up starting to help her with a daycare. Now, mind you, I love kids, but I did that daycare thing for 10 years.
Right.
Uh, he contacted me while I was working at this daycare. And, you get that blocked phone call, and it's like a blocked number.
Right.
And I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, hello. And you hear this, heavy voice on the other end. Um, what are you up to? I'm like, oh, what's up, man? Hey.
Right.
And he's like, you think you could come out to Paisley? And I'm like, yeah, when you looking at me to do. And from that, we kind of started, just I would go out, once or twice out of the week just to shoot the breeze. And he wanted to see where things were with me, what was I doing in my life. And this was during that time he started getting into the Jehovah Witness stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Right.
And I just was like, okay,
Uh-huh.
yeah, so we kind of sit down, and he was, I was talking about my life, and I was telling him about, I seen you got married again, da 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 da, because he was married to the other lady. I don't even want to give her name, no energy, but uh, and I just like, oh, okay. So we're talking, and he started asking me about the Bible. And I'm like, oh yeah, my mother took me to church all the time, so, I'm Baptist. And he's like, oh, okay. And I remember one of the times, now we've been doing this for a little while. I kept going back and forth and months and down the road. And he goes, so who are you praying to? And I
Ah,
said, I don't know. When I pray at night is, dear Heavenly Gracious Father, da, 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 Jesus Christ. And he's like, you ever wonder why you're not getting your prayers answered? Uh,
right.
I don't know.
Right.
Maybe because I'm not working and making enough money to make the stuff work. He's like, no, because you're not calling him by his name.
Wow.
What? I've been calling him Lord Jesus and God and everybody. What are you talking about? And he goes, you're not using his name right, so you're not going to get your blessings filled.
Wow.
And I was like, well, who should I be praying to? And he
Right.
goes, well, if you're not calling him Jehovah, you're not getting your prayers. I was like, okay, bro. So I've been Baptist all my life, and my mother took me to church, and that's what I grew up on. So you're telling me my mom's a lie? I'm not calling your mama a lie. And
Yeah.
that's how we ended it. It was just one of those, and I just, like, you know what? I get it. I get
I
it,
was
bro.
cracking up reading the book when you said a couple of times you almost fell asleep when you went to the service.
Oh, look, dude. So, real story.
Uh-huh.
He called me out there, and I go, and it was funny because he's sitting in the front. It's him, Larry, and his wife,
Right.
and his wife. So they're just kind of standing, sitting up the very front. And he sees me and he goes, and I'm like, and he's like, I am. Come back here. Come back here. So I went back in this other little room they had where
Uh-huh.
it was like a glass window back there and you could see it. And I just sit in there the whole night. So, you know, I'm not saying any church is boring to me. It's like that. But they were like, and they got up and started singing, and I'm going, wait a minute, dude. You like the music to be bumping,
Right, right, right.
and you're in here talking about. I'm
Right.
like, nah. Afterward, he was like, why didn't you come up front? I was like, I'm good back there, man. I don't need to be up front. I was like, because I know you'd see introducing me to the pastor.
Right, right. Yeah. I
He was like,
remember
nah, I'm good. Yeah, so
growing up.
it was funny. I did almost fall asleep a couple times. I was sitting there like, Jesus Christ, this is kind of dead in here.
I remember growing up as a Catholic, and it was kind of like that, really by the book. Like everything was the same every time you went. And then I went down to Florida. What was it? First communion for my godson,
Ah,
and Dan
ah.
Marino. Dan Marino was his kid must have been getting first communion, but the music was totally different. It was almost like American Idol auditions. There was like
Right, right.
people dancing and playing guitar, and I said, "Wow, I didn't grow up on this." So,
Well, and it's different because Baptist church, when they get
oh
in it,
yeah,
they get
yeah,
in it.
yeah, oh
They
yeah,
get
yeah,
in it. Now, mind you, it's different from that to a Pentecostal church. And
right,
it was funny. A friend of mine who was going to a Pentecostal church, he told me, he said, come on over, man. I'm like, cool. All right. So I go over there to this church and I'm sitting down and the music kicked in and I'm like, ooh, yeah, all right. All of a sudden, there was people running laps.
right,
And I was going, what is going on here? And,
yeah.
and my friend, he's like, buddy of mine named James McGregor. We call him Magoo.
Oh yeah,
He's
Magoo,
like,
yeah,
yeah, he's looking at me and he's going, you all right? I'm like, dude, they're running laps.
right, yeah,
I had never seen that before. And I was like, okay, I guess that's where everybody celebrate different.
yeah. My ex girlfriend, she was a singer. It was a Calvary Baptist church. It was a Baptist church. Me and my buddy went to go see a concert they had, and she's up there singing, and me and my buddy are the only two white in the whole place. So these three kids are right in front of us with their parents. They stand up on the little bench, turn facing us, looking at us for the whole concert. So
Oh,
there was an
wow.
intermission. I go outside and my friend goes, what the heck? That was uncomfortable. But yeah, But the music was great. Yeah.
Yeah, the music is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've never been going to a Pentecostal and then knowing that the Baptist churches, they like to get their funk on. So it was
Right.
like, and then to see them running, I was going, okay, I didn't know you were supposed to get up and run in the church.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, uh, going to the Jehovah Witnesses, and they were just kind of like, I was like, Jesus Christ, there's a difference in everybody's thing. So,
Yeah.
and I've seen it all. I've been to a Christian church, I've been to the Jehovah Witness, I've been to the Baptist, I've been to Pentecostal.
Right.
Like, okay, everybody, y'all all praying to the same people, right? Somebody
That's
is.
it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Prince must have been inside thinking, "Oh, I could turn this around. I could get this band rocking."
Right, right, yeah. Well, he wanted to ask me. I mean, like he said to me, I was praying to the wrong person all these years. I told him, hey, well, that's how my mother had me pray, so I'm gonna continue doing what my mother told me to do,
Right.
if you don't mind.
Yeah. We were talking about basketball before. How much do you get into March Madness yourself?
I always watch I watch college throughout the year, but then I really like when March Madness come up, that's when I'm really watching. And I don't really pick like teams that I think are gonna win it and that kind of stuff. I just like watching a good game. I don't like watching a blowout.
Yeah, yeah.
If a team is at halftime and they got 80 some point, the other team got 20, I'm done.
Yeah. They they
I'm
they
done. I'm
they
like,
switched the
yeah,
game to
that
another.
wasn't even,
Yeah.
yeah,
Who do you root for? Do you have a favorite team?
No,
No.
not necessarily. I don't really because again, the basketball thing was something I wanted to do, and it got killed when I was young. So me just watching sports, I just like watching. It's the same with football. I don't like watching a particular team now. I like the Patriots.
Oh.
I've always watched them when I was young.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I was a Viking fan when I moved to Minnesota. The Patriots were just one of them teams I just liked for whatever reason. And I always stayed true to them in the Vikings, but then the Vikings were just doing stupid stuff. So college ball, I didn't really have a pick. You know what I mean? It's like I,
Hmm.
I thought I was going to be a Michigan State Spartan,
Yeah.
and that didn't happen. So, watching the college thing right now, I know that Duke's out there. I know that Arizona is pretty tough.
Hmm.
Uh, and it, you know, being here in Louisville, these people are crazy for these Cardinals, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, they're good, but they're not quite,
Right.
not quite, North Carolina, Duke, and them kind of areas. They're not quite there yet.
Not like the Denny Crum days way back.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's I forget what I was going to say. Yeah, about the football, the Vikings. I wanted to this is what I wanted to ask you about. Huge loss in the Minneapolis music scene with Jelly Bean passing Jelly Bean Johnson in November. Just you definitely had some experiences being around Jelly Bean. Oh,
Yeah.
what did he mean to you as a friend and musician?
Uh, as a musician, Jelly Bean was very untapped as the musician that he was. My first time seeing him on guitar, I thought, "You play guitar?"
Right.
It was because I didn't know he played like that.
Right.
Um, and so Bean to me was an incredibly talented musician. And we were close. I mean, we were friends. We would message, private message each other here and there. He'd hear, me. He'd see me make a rant on Facebook, and he'd text me, you know, baby bro, don't worry about it, man. You this
Right.
and this and that. And I was like, okay. He'd always try to uplift me,
Right.
if he saw something that I felt negative about, and he'd always be in that. And then when I would see him, I would always go up to him and I'd wait. I always caught him off guard. I'd always walk up and stand there while he's talking or doing whatever he's doing. And he'd turn around and go, God dang it, Damon. And then we'd hug and then I'd kiss him on his forehead.
Right.
And he'd just be like laughing and stuff. And I'd always had him laughing. And that was our relationship. Every time we seen each other, it was so much love. I think the last time I actually physically saw him was at the green room at Martin Kimber's
Oh,
thing he did last year.
during
I,
a
I happened to
celebration.
pop in there, and I have a picture of that last time we were in the thing, and I just as a friend, I was like, I love Bean to death. I thought he was just so true to earth, and he meant a lot to what was going on in Minnesota now as the
Mm.
music scene. Um,
Yeah, he was
with the
like the
sound museum and all that stuff.
right.
So
Yeah, let's hope they build upon that. I know Eric and company there, Eric Rogers working on that.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and and Marty and his kids too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And Marty, oh man, I think she is an amazing woman to go through all of that, and be his backbone. And
yeah,
she was instrumental in a lot of pushing him.
right.
Um, and I just felt for her and stuff. And I just, I think we reached out and just kind of told her, sent our condolences and stuff. And I think me and the wife, we plan on sending her something so she could, you know, just to show our gratitude for her as well
Right.
as being so.
Yeah, that's definitely well said. And he was like the go-to source if you had a question about
Yes,
Minneapolis and if Prince stuff like this, because we all had
yes,
experience with Prince, and he
yes,
would like, yeah,
yes,
he'd kind of
yeah,
like give the analysis, and he was usually right.
yeah. And
Yeah,
and he also would, with local artists,
yeah,
he would uplift and bring them on, man.
yeah.
It's just amazing because a lot of the artists, a lot of the musicians who in that camp and
Hmm.
the camp that I'm talking of, they don't reach back and grab somebody that ain't a celebrity or ain't that big. They don't reach
Right.
back and try to mentor these young cats and it's that. Um, he would mentor.
Mm, yeah,
Being would mentor, and if he felt you got in time, he saw you do something, he'd try to be, and there's a lot of them that ain't like that. Now, I can honestly say that if the singers part of it, and
hmm
people that sing locally there, there's a woman, and I'm gonna give her a prop because she helped us, me, Tony, and Kirk back in the day when we were starting our little MPLS band thing with the split level stuff. She helped us with our vocals, and that's Kirk's sister, Kathleen
Oh
Johnson.
yeah. Best kept secret, right?
Incredible. This
Yeah.
woman is incredible, and she helped us with our vocals, and she always talked about that kind of stuff, and she's still in the community talking about that with these young singers,
Right.
and performers and band members. Hey, she's very adamant, if you don't put in the work, if you don't show up to practices, don't come to the gigs because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So, and I just love her to death. That Kathleen's always been a mentor toward all the things. So for me, it's like, if you're gonna be that, if you're gonna be that musician, that top musician, you're gonna be that singer, you're gonna be that thing, put in the work. You can say all the things you want to, but being with someone that was mentor and was, he was looked up to, he would go and talk to these young people.
Hmm.
He didn't blow people off.
Yeah,
You know what I
he
mean?
became like a big brother. I don't know if you met
Exactly,
Ronnie Baker
exactly.
Brooks. Do you know Ronnie Baker
Yes.
Brooks?
Yeah.
And we became friends with Ronnie Baker Brooks because of Bean. And Bean's like, yeah, this is my brother. You check him out on the
Yeah.
album, and you
Yeah.
know, just you hear so many positive stories about him. And he was a humble guy. I mean, he could have just been tooting his horn, and as
Right.
talented
Right.
as he was,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah. And we just, I mean, don't get me wrong, all the musicians that came out of Minnesota are extremely talented, but your true being and true what you bring to the table shows in what you do after
yeah,
all of that. And
right.
Being showed that. And that's what I look for when I see people out here talking about the music industry and what they're doing in it. It's like, come on, man. If you're not bringing along some new talent, if you're not mentoring and talking to these this and showing them what it takes to be that, as well as being a role model of what you are. I mean, you could be the baddest guitar player in the world, baddest drummer in the world, baddest keyboard player in the world, baddest singer in the world. But what are you doing
Yeah, yeah,
to solidify your legacy? Bean showed that, and he was always humble about it. If
right.
you said it to him, he'd be like, I'm just
Yeah,
trying to do what. It's like, bruh.
yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah, it's gonna be tough going to see the time, without that backbeat and that smile and
yeah,
laugh behind
I'm
the
pretty
stage.
sure it is. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure it is, man.
right. But your legacy, you captured it right here. Hopefully the first of many, but we want people to go to Amazon. They can order it direct. Also, authorhouse.com. can get it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
go inside Barnes and Noble or order on their website. We got a Barnes and Noble in our town, and we're always going in there. It's like,
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, that's it. If you can hit any of those sites to get the book, it's a short read, but it's very informative about my life, and it just kind of gives you an insight on, lessons learned and stuff like that. So, everybody that have talked to me about the book have said in one way or another they can relate to things that were happening and what have you. And I just like, all praises to that. Or like one of my friends who said they didn't know the things were happening back then and they would write under me every day. So,
yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
just one of those life changing events could be a whole book. You went so many things have
yeah,
happened. I mean, we won't go through
yeah,
every one of them, but
yeah, yeah.
you're here, you're smiling. And before we say goodbye, let's talk about the fashion update with Day Day Wear. Where can people get your stuff?
I kind of slowed down a little because it just wasn't picking up like I thought people would do. And then the fact that I couldn't find a website that I could have it up to where people can continue to buy. I saw someone on one of the young man named Micah Simpson. Uh, he had on my hat and he had on a shirt of mine and he was holding the book. And somebody asked him where he get that where did you get that hat at?
Okay.
That hat was a limited edition of my when 2022 when we did the whole Prince on the big screen. It was my version of Me, Tony, and Kirk for the Purple Rain thing.
Oh
And I
yeah,
just
yeah,
kind of took
right.
the idea of the raindrops
Hmm.
on the hat as well as the Dee Dee wear. And the guy just was like, oh, that's dope. And I'm just like, yeah, that's only a limited edition. But
Yeah,
and I wanted to go on his page and go, if you want to get a hat,
yeah,
let me know. And if I get enough people asking for it, I'll get some more. But I just kind of slowed down. But anybody looking for it, I have a Facebook page for the Day Day Wear.
oh okay,
And it's if you go to Day Day Wear on Facebook, type that in, you'll see that page. And if you're interested and you want to, and I get enough people, it's like right now, it's like I have to get enough people for me to go ahead and print
yeah,
up some
too
more
bad,
stuff. But,
yeah,
if I'm just getting one or two people, it's just kind of hard to just go print one or two things and sending them out.
yeah. We'll have that link in the description as well that
The
people
Day
can.
Day Wear, Day Day Wear
Yeah,
page, yes.
yeah, yeah. I was thinking, Don Lemon, right? Reporter.
Yep,
He
yep.
he he's got the podcast. He's always got merchandise, Lemon Nation, everything. I wonder what he uses.
Yeah,
Stuff like.
and I've had a couple people tell me sites, and then they said when they went to the site, the company was taking more of their money and that
Oh,
stuff. And
okay.
I'm going,
Wow.
yeah. What's the purpose in doing all this? And I only get like
I know.
30% of it.
Yeah. Yeah. You've already been through that with the record business.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So, hey, I want to thank you for coming by, Damon.
I
And
appreciate you,
God
Joe.
willing, we can do this several times, maybe once a year or, whenever you want to come on.
Oh, yeah. Well, you let me know, man. I'm always open. I'm a retired dancer, security, you name it.
Well, hey, listen, Prince and the New Power Generation and the core, you've been involved in music throughout your life. And
Yeah.
he was a great basketball player, too. So I'm sure he could drop the three, so don't
Yeah. Oh
mess with
yeah.
Day
Yeah,
Day.
yeah. Look, I've been down here trying to find a gym I could go to so I could make a couple more videos so I still got it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, enjoy March Madness. Maybe a Stephon Curry like player will pop out of on the spotlight like he did when he played.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. And once again, the Damon Dickson story, and much love to you and Paisha, and get the book
Appreciate you, man.
and support an independent musician who's been a friend to the Minneapolis music scene for so many years. And thanks, brother.
Yeah. I appreciate you, brother.
All right,
Appreciate
Damon.
you, man.
Peace.
Yes, sir.